Hey guys, this is Claudius. I just wanted to have a quick conversation about some of the things that, for example, dealing with, property management, dealing with villas, some of the things that are popping up regularly, and just kind of put some things in perspective. This is April 2021. The United States is kind of partially open. They're plugging through with the vaccines. Canada's completely locked down. And there's some questions that keep popping up as to travel. Okay, and me being in the travel industry, I'm usually on the front line for those questions, and those questions just end up on my plate. So I just wanted to do just a quick conversation about some of those questions and how I kind of see it going. Obviously with COVID-19 and the pandemic, it's forced people to change the way they look at not just life, but travel. Do we take a vacation? Can we take a vacation? And the reality of it is you can still do it, but those vacations are gonna look a little differently for the most part. You do have situations, for example, we have a lot of kind of all-inclusive resorts here, like larger hotels. And those are still an option for a lot of people. But if you're traveling with a family, you may want to limit your exposure. You may want to have more control over the amount of exposure that you have, not necessarily to COVID, but just to other people, okay? One of the things that just the general kind of analogies I use is, there are some people who are absolutely fine with it, and there are some people who are just okay, with my family. Maybe you have older people in your family, maybe you have somebody who is immune system's impaired for whatever reason, and you want to steer away from, and I don't blame you, it's not a bad thing, but you want to steer away from, sitting poolside with 1,000 people that you don't know. And for those people, I usually recommend villas. Now, the other side of that is oftentimes when somebody says, oh, renting a villa, there's kind of stigma attached to it. It's this, it's gonna cost me $500,000 to spend a week in a villa. And the reality of it is it doesn't have to. It can, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking to be catered to, chef service every day, gorgeous 10-bedroom on Grace Bay Beach, it can be expensive. But for the most part, there are a lot of private homes. This one's Breezy Villa on the hillside. I'm gonna be publishing a video for this, so you can actually see it on my YouTube page. But these are relatively affordable homes on the water, private pool, fully set up, stage kitchen and everything. And what it does, it allows you to essentially have a home away from home. It allows you to go to the Turks and Caicos, travel safely, and then once you get here, you're in a safe environment, you're in a safe community with just your family. Now, if you decide you want to go for dinner, go out to a restaurant, that stuff is still in play right now. And I don't know how things are when you see this video, but right now, for the most part, we're under curfew from 11 p.m. So most restaurants are still open. 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. So most restaurants are still open. There are a couple of those spots where you can still go watch a ball game, still go watch a fight, have a beer. Beaches are still open. Your services are still in place. What I'm finding lately is kind of the smarter travelers are steering towards, instead of going out to, a large restaurant or going out to hear a band or whatever, a lot of people have been steering more towards bringing it to them. And so we've had a lot more discussions around and built a lot more kind of relationships with private chefs, butlers, bartender services, even music. If you, instead of going out for a night on the town, you can really just hire a band to come in and play for a couple of hours and have a private chef come in, and a lot of them will have a bartender, and your home becomes the space where you're being entertained. And there are a lot of other things that you don't have to worry about, calling a cab or anything like that, because when they're done, they really just pack up and they head out, and you're left with your friends and family in a safe space. So for the most part, we're seeing a lot more people, and I expect it to kind of carry over into the next maybe couple of years. Just people being more aware of their surroundings and people being more aware of who's around them when they travel, to offer essentially a safer vacation, but still with fun things happening. You can still do the paddleboard tours. You can still learn kite surfing. You can still go scuba diving. You can still do snuba. Like for example, right now here at Breezy Villa, just off the shore here, there's a shipwreck. You know, people will paddle out to the shipwreck or rent jet skis and run out to the shipwreck. So there's still a lot to be done. It's just, there's a change in how people are doing it, okay? Just to touch back on costs, I mean, you can get a villa for $300 a night. You can get a villa for $25,000 a night. So there's a lot of kind of room in there, and the idea is that you just have to find the right home for you. And with Blue Heron, that's essentially what we do. You know, we look at your dates, look at your budget, look at what you want, like which home would work best for your family. And we help to, you know, put you into the best home for you. Even if it's not one of our houses that we manage, you know, our goal is to make sure that you have a wonderful vacation. So again, please feel free to reach out to us. You can find us online, www.blueherontci.com. Even if it's just you have a couple questions. You know, we've been thinking about the Turks and Caicos. What is there to do in the Turks and Caicos, you know? Get my advice on, like one of the things, I had a client the other day who was asking me about seafood. So where can we buy fresh seafood? And then the wife is like, oh, who do you recommend for a fishing charter? So the reality of it is you can put those two together. What I usually, like in that particular case, it was a situation where it was like, okay, well, here's Talbot's Adventures. Go fishing with them on the first or second day of your trip. Go bottom fishing, and you know, you'll have fresh seafood for the rest of your stay. So kind of kill two birds with one stone. So those types of things, feel free to reach out. You know, those are things that we can shine some light on, give some advice on. But again, you know, as far as travel goes, it's not necessarily a case of if. I think it's more of a how question now. How do we make it work? How do we travel in a manner that's safe, that's secure, but still a lot of fun? And I imagine now, you know, a lot of people have been locked down for a year plus. You probably need a break. Anyway, just a short chat. Again, my name's Claudius. Feel free to reach out, www.blueherontci.com or Claudius@blueherontci.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care.